You'd think it would be a tough question given how many genres there are out there to like narrow it down to your favorite one, but I knew immediately. Like my favorite genre of all time is RPGs. Like I cannot get enough RPGs. I love them. I love turn-based RPGs. I love action RPGs. I'm not so hot on strategy RPGs, but I'm starting to flirt with them a little bit. Like Unicorn Overlord like has my attention with the demo and everything. So I think I'm gonna give that a shot. I was flirting with the last Fire Emblem, and I was like, I might get into this series now. That looks kind of cool. I hate the character, but everybody said it played awesome. But I think I might just wait for the next one on that one. But action RPGs are fun because it's taking like a little bit of the turn-based elements and making you have to think about action. Where like you can't just slash button mash. You have to like upgrade certain features and then you unlock certain abilities, so then you can slash dodge, do an attack or ability, and like there's a lot of features that get like introduced to action RPGs. But at the end of the day, we wouldn't have the action RPG without the turn-based RPGs, and that is the granddaddy of my favorite genre is turn-based RPGs. I'd much rather them like 90s-ish RPGs, but like back on the NES when they got started with, at the time, Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy 1 and everything, and it's now Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy 1. I didn't like that as much, where it was just text boxes like Earthbound, where you would see the enemy but not the party, and like I don't know, it's weird like that. But like you got most of the Final Fantasies are fantastic. Like, oh man, 6 through 10 are all bangers. Like they're all amazing, and then you have like the hidden darling like cult classic ones like Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. Octopath Traveler series is good, and the Bravely Default series is good because those games are more recent and channel the energy of the old school RPG and make you just like really nostalgic for like the big systems. We're just like, okay, get a piece of paper out just to keep track of all the different stats and status effects and everything. Like I had to make a cheat sheet of the status effects for Bravely Default 2. Because you could cast Contagion, which saps their MP, or you could poison them, or you could set them on fire, and if they're ice, then it's super effective against that, and a bunch of moving aspects to it. There's a lot of moving parts. It really, really works out your brain. It's just so rewarding to like see it all come to light and bring you to victory.
Beyond the edge of reality lies a story of ultimate conquest, a story of war and friendship, a story of a love that can never be, and a hatred that always was. And now, the most anticipated epic adventure of the year will never come to a theater near you. Final Fantasy VII.
PlayStation.
This one's kind of tricky because I was tempted to say Metroidvania because a lot of my favorite games are Metroidvanias. Like Metroid, obviously, Hollow Knight was really fun. But I got thinking about it and I decided on platformers. Because like Mario is always a good time. Mega Man is usually like amazingly fun and a good way to explore. And a good example of how you can do a platformer that's not just jump on all the enemies and like dodge gaps. There's strategy to that. There's a little bit of like playing with powers and like, you know, the rush stuff and all that. The Kirby games are really good platformers. They're a little on the easier side compared to Mega Man, but it's always a good time. And there's just something about like a shorter authored experience that just really, I enjoy it so much because it's really hard to like mess up a platformer, but it's also really hard to make an outstanding one. And one of my favorite things is how many ways you can play around with the formula, because for a more recent example, Shovel Knight was really fun. Like you can argue it's basically Mega Man, but I loved it. And Grapple Dog is a platformer with a physics engine, and it's all about momentum and stuff, and you're just zip zooming around, and it's a great time. I will say I'm specifically talking about 2D platformers. 3D platformers are kind of a whole different thing. I've gotten a lot more respect for them over the years. I didn't used to like them that much. But for me, 2D is just where it's at, man.
Thomas was alone. Wow. A weird first thought to have. Chris stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness.
I don't know if this is technically a genre, but for my favorite genre, I'm going to go with open world. Now, when they're done wrong, I don't like them too much, but when they're done right, holy shit, is that my favorite thing in the world. Just when it's done right, I'm thinking Red Dead Redemption 2, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Ghost of Tsushima. There's a million, Elden Ring, there's a million others, and it not just full of stuff. You have to have the constant sense of discovery, but like Assassin's Creed, you know, originally not a bad open world, and then the latest ones I played is just like, there's a thing every step you take. I don't like that, but I like it. I'll even take the empty ones, like Shadow of the Colossus, if it's fun to explore, and I don't know if that's even open world. I don't remember how big that map is, but at the time, it felt huge. Now, when it's done right, when the exploration is fun, and the game is just, everything just sings. I love it so much when and you can throw any genre into open world, and that's why I'm not sure if this is a genre itself. Because, I mean, open world survival, open world action adventure, open world turn-based RPG, action RPG, it doesn't matter. Almost anything can work in an open world. I don't know if a farming sim would, but open world is just my favorite shit ever. I love it so much when I'm just walking around, like hunting like a beast or a lion or something, and then I'm just like, oh, look over there, and then I just get so lost because the exploration takes me there. The best example of recent games I can think of is in Tears of the Kingdom. I was up in like the Zora area, I was in the Elden region, and I got distracted by something, and I was like, I'll just go that way real quick, and I kept doing that apparently, and I ended up in the desert because I just kept going, because there was constantly new things and new fun things, and that's what open worlds do. That's when I love it, is when they completely envelop me and I can't stop exploring.